ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive.
It is Tuesday, June 10th. Your drive begins now on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Our text line this hour, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We got another opportunity for you to win tickets today. I'm going to make that easy for you. Our text line is open now, and we made Ed a winner yesterday. So tonight he's going to be sitting in a nice spot. He's going to be watching Coldcats baseball tonight. We have got tickets for every game this week, so we'll give you another opportunity. And you can get started now. Again, our text line, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. You know, we've made it even easier, at least with the Coldcats. We'll send the tickets to you electronically. That's how cool it is. So you don't have to worry about, hey, I got to get down to the station. Okay, can I get there in time? I'm going to have to go in the morning or something, so I have the tickets. No, we're going to send those right to you. I wish we could do that with more tickets, and I'm going to push for that. But with at least these, you can go. We'll send them right to you. So great opportunity for you to go see the Coldcats. It was a great game yesterday until Pulaski decided to come back and ruin everyone's fun. Pulaski got the win over Tri-State yesterday, 10-5. Teams, of course, meeting again tonight, as we mentioned, 7 o'clock. We go on the air at 6:45 right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. It's also Little League night at Jack Cook Field. And so if you're going to the game and you want to bring your child, get a couple of tickets, and youth baseball players wearing their uniforms, get into the game tonight for free. So if you're planning on maybe, hey, let's go check the game out, let's go see a little bit of baseball action. We got some time tonight. Whatever your plans may be, if it includes the Coldcats, you can take your child. And if they're wearing their uniform, they're going to get into the game tonight for free. So how about that? Pirates got the win over the Marlins yesterday, 10-3. Game 2 of that series coming up tonight, 6:40 in Pittsburgh. The Reds got the win over the Guardians, 7-4. Battle of Ohio continues tonight, 6:40 in Cleveland. Yesterday, the Stanley Cup. Game 3, Florida made it look ugly. 6-1 win over Edmonton. Panthers lead that series 2-1. First 2 games were really close, and then it shifts back to Florida. Maybe travel had something to do with it. Edmonton, I'm not sure. I think it would impact both teams, but Florida came out hot and fired up and ready to go. And I would root for Florida, but Brad Marchand is on that team, so I'm not a big fan of his. As far as it's not hate, it's one of those, man, will he just go away? Will he just go away now because he's too good? And I don't like that. He scores, and I'm just like, really? Again, more Brad Marchand? No, he's a really good player, and Florida's lucky to have him. So the Panthers get the win against Edmonton, and we'll have all those games over on our sister station, Cat Sports 93.3 and 1340. We got a lot to get into today as far as what's happening with, of course, Marshall. They got the Board of Governors meeting tomorrow. And I've already talked to Tyler Kennett. He covers the beat for HD Media. He's going to be in attendance tomorrow. So he's going to check in with us tomorrow. We're going to talk about what happened, what did we find out? Pretty much going to know a few things already. Basketball contract, that's going to be something that's probably going to be taken care of early, needed to be done. I know moving day is happening, and the players are already checking in. I saw some of the socials there. So we'll get the early stuff. I know there's going to be an executive session, probably going to be talking about athletic director. We might get a name sooner than later. It would be great if we could get it, say, today, tomorrow, the next day, something early this week. But at the same time, it's something that I'm sure is a process. Got to make sure everything lines up. I know there have been a few rumor accounts out there. I'm not going to cite anything directly just because, until we get a little bit more firm understanding the candidate may be from a certain area, certain school. I know that tipped off a few people when a couple of these accounts that have they like to call them the burner accounts. It's been referred to by more than one, the burner accounts. And so you got a lot of people on social media, with a little insight possibly and wanting to keep their identity secret. And I'm understanding of that. I completely get it. It just, when it's official, and hopefully it'll be official soon. So I'm hoping we'll get some info tomorrow. Whatever the case may be, we're going to have Tyler come on with us. As I said, he's going to go to the meeting tomorrow, covering it for HD Media. So he's going to check in with us tomorrow on that. You have any idea who you think the athletic director is going to be, the new athletic director for Marshall University? You can, of course, check in with your guess. That's perfectly fine. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. I mean, if you've got insight, you got guesses here, I'll entertain them right now. If you've got an idea, if you've got an inside source, I'm going to entertain all of that this hour. Of course, we'll get your text in one more time. That number brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop is 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We've got some Bengals news to get into today. We'll do that. Also, we'll talk about some new rules coming to basketball. And if we've got time, and I'm hoping we can get into it a little bit more, what's going to happen now that we've got the House settlement, and we're going to see, at least for the foreseeable future, a certain amount, a limit, which is still going to be extremely difficult for a school like Marshall to meet fully, of how much you can offer your student athletes. And of course, you can fully fund scholarships, unlimited now. So if you've got an Olympic sport that you want to make sure you keep everyone happy, you can fund all the scholarships, no more partial stuff. It's going to go from athletic department to athletic department. Also seeing some private equity getting involved in a couple of schools. What's this really going to do? Is it going to get to the point where we're going to see truly the haves separate from the have-nots? I mean, you might be in a Power 4 conference now, and you might have the enjoyment of having all the perks that go along with that. In the future, though, you might be struggling in that Power 4 conference. Sure, you're a member. Ohio State's got to go out and beat somebody weekly, right? Michigan's got to go out and beat somebody weekly, right? You got to have a few of those schools, right? I mean, if you're in the ACC, you got to have a couple of those schools and those sports where, you're going to be top heavy. I think that's going to be the case. SEC might be a different beast altogether, maybe not. ACC, you might be top heavy in some regard. Big Ten, maybe not. I still think Big Ten's top heavy. Big 12, you might be a little top heavy as far as what you can pull off. Can you compete? Can you fully pay for? And a lot of this money mostly is going to go to football and basketball. Let's just be honest with ourselves here. We're looking at money that's going to go to football and basketball. If you are a program, a department that values a different sport, you might put more there. You might see some athletic departments cut back on sports. We might lose sports now that you have to fund. Well, you don't have to, but you can. You can fully fund scholarships. You might lose some sports. You might go, okay, this is not necessarily going to be beneficial for us. We're going to cut back here and here and here, try to keep, as much as we can. I've seen already, I think Michigan's cutting back on, I think 10% across the board. There's going to be some situations where when people leave, they're not going to fill those vacancies. You see that all the time. So interesting to see what this is going to look like in 6 weeks, 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years. What's that going to look like in the foreseeable future when it comes to athletic departments trying to keep up, trying to fund everything? And then, of course, you got the NIL deals, and that's going to be handled a little bit better. Will there be more in that regard? And, of course, who's going to enforce the rules? That's going to be another issue. I'm curious to see what happens. So we'll get your text in. It's going to be wide open today, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. 8255. Don't forget, we're giving you an opportunity to win a pair of tickets to go see the Coldcats tomorrow. And we're going to make it easier on you. You don't have to come pick them up. We're going to send them right to you. So keep that in mind. More coming up on this edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Big flavors, big savings, and top-notch quality only at Food Fair. We're bringing you the brands you love, plus exciting new exclusives. Try Springer Mountain Farms chicken, humanely raised and antibiotic-free. Stock up on Food Club for quality meals at a great value. Crush cravings with Craven flavor snacks, pizzas, and sweet treats. From family dinners to late-night snacks, Food Fair has you covered without breaking the bank. Visit foodfairmarkets.com today. Food Fair, delightfully local, deliciously fresh.
Hey, Cecilia, summer's finally here, and Clark's Pump & Shop has some great specials.
They've got assorted Hershey XL candy bars, buy one, get one for $1, and Mike and Ike, and a hot tamale theater box size candy, buy one, get one free.
And C4 Performance 16-ounce energy drinks, buy two, get one free.
That'll give you plenty of energy to get all your yard work done. I'd like these impatiens planted in the front yard, please.
Those impatients will have to wait for my nap.
Get the rest of this month's specials on the Clark's Pump & Shop app from your app store.
You can return, refresh, and refuel where?
At Clark's Pump & Shop.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hurt at work? Tom Boggs is here for you in Huntington, and he's brought the expertise of Warner Law Offices with him.
Call 345-6789.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover guitar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Okay, forest animals, today is a new day. Kids are coming to the forest, and it's up to us to make their visit a good one. Sparrow.
Yes?
Have you practiced the most popular bird songs for the year?
Of course.
Catchy. I like it. Okay, River.
Dude.
How's the temperature?
It's a refreshing 52 degrees, man. Perfect for a little riverside shoeless relaxation.
Ah, good. Owl, you here? Course. Who's asking? I am. Look, you know the drill. Sleep during the day, scare the kids at night. Perfect. I love my job. Oak Tree?
What's up?
Still in the same place I left you last year. That's what I like. Consistency.
Well, it's not like I'm going anywhere for the next couple hundred years.
I know. I love it. Turtle. Turtle.
He's not here yet, man.
He's late every morning. You'd think he would have learned by now to leave the night before our meetings. Okay. Squirrel. Has anybody seen Mr. Squirrel?
The forest has been preparing just for you. Visit a forest near you today. To learn more about cool things to do in the forest, visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Dr. Kathleen Eubanks-Ming with the American Academy of Family Physicians. Bullies use power, strength, or popularity to hurt others emotionally or physically. And while you can't be with your child all the time, there are ways you can help. If your child encounters a bully, tell them to get to a safe place and tell an adult. You can also show them how to block online bullies. Teach them they can be more than a bystander and that they can help their peers. For more on bullying, visit familydoctor.org or talk with your family physician.
People think saving money is hard, but really, it's easy. It's as simple as changing a few spending habits. For free tips on how to save the easy way, check out feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
You're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
We continue on with this edition of The Drive here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Our text line this hour is brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. As we're getting ready for the start of Coldcats baseball tonight, 6:45 is going to be our airtime. I'm going to give you an opportunity to go to the game tomorrow on me. All you have to do, text to win. I make it simple. We're not looking for anything spectacular here. You know, if you can put together a couple of words, that'll be good enough for me. I just want to make sure everybody gets a chance to win and go see the Coldcats. So we got another pair of tickets for tomorrow night's game we're going to give away, and you can text in to win. Real simple. Of course, if you can add something to the program as well, that's always going to be helpful. As I alluded to earlier, some changes in college basketball, probably for the better. So what's going to be new? Coach's Challenge is coming. One time out in your pocket, one chance to trigger a replay on out-of-bounds call kind of deal here. Goaltending, basket interference, things like that. If you win the challenge and you get one more for the rest of the game, and overtime you lose it and you're out of your challenges. Officials may still self-initiate the same replays in the final 2 minutes and overtime, but only the coach can force a review on out-of-bounds. Now, we've got continuous motion expanded if a driver picks up his dribble, absorbs contact, then pivots or finishes the step he's on. The try now counts as a shooting foul. In short, the gather plus step is protected even after contact. The Rules Committee likes the idea of moving from 2 20-minute halves to 4 10-minute quarters. Conferences are going to study the TV timeout, the detriment or the benefit for advertising, and that's going to come up in the next Rules Committee cycle. Efficiency push for refs is going to be a thing now. Some points of emphasis here. They're going to cut delay of game tactics, spend less time at the monitor, tidy up the game administration, and try to dial back excessive physicality. I think anything you can do to tidy anything up to speed the game up is fine by me, especially game administration. If you can clean up everything that happens at the table, at the administration level, if we're not hanging out the monitor too much, we're here to watch a game, right? We want to get the call right, but at the same time, let's not delay this too much. Let's get this going, make the call, live with it, or let's move on. Some other tweaks: groin contact, now a flagrant 1, 2 shots plus the ball, but no automatic ejection. If you're using the rim to gain an advantage, equals a basket interference now, so hanging for leverage. Shot clock outage. If one clock dies, the other stays on instead of shutting both off. Okay, that seems sensible. Trying to, again, keep the game moving. I don't think there's anything truly controversial here or radical. I'm still on board with things for the refs to kind of try to speed this game up with. Hey, we got a game to play. Quit trying to delay. We don't need to stay at this monitor. We got to make sure that the game administration is going to be tightened up. We got to do things like that. Coach's Challenge. If you got one in your back pocket, you think it's worth taking a shot. Okay, I can go with that. The quarters, that's one that probably might have a different feel to it. The NBA uses quarters. Women's basketball uses quarters. Come on, quarters. I'm okay with that. 10-minute quarter, 10-minute quarter, half, 10-minute, 10-minute, we're done. I think that will not drastically impact the game, but I think we like that idea a little bit more, keep everything in line with everything else. I know the college game and the pro game are completely different, but I think going to quarters is probably the smart idea, keep everything consistent. And it seems to be working well in other sports. It seems to be working well at the NBA level. It works well in women's basketball. I think we've got at least an option here, an opportunity to kind of get everything closer in line. But yeah, that's basically the gist of what you can see for college basketball in the new year. And of course, we're all excited for basketball. I was watching a little bit of social media yesterday. Guys are checking in, getting to see what the place looks like. As of course, you've got several months until the start of basketball season, but the work starts now. Corny Jackson, I think, is going to have a great second year. He already proved that he's worth the job. And we'll get more on the basketball contract deals. That's coming up tomorrow. Board of Governors meeting. Basically, just solidify his contract deal is what I heard. Nothing drastic, nothing major here, nothing to worry about. And I think everything's in place for Marshall to have, I think, a good run in basketball. Now, football, that's going to be a different beast altogether. You're still putting the pieces together. I think that's going to take a little time if Marshall can get off to a fast start. And I don't mean beat Georgia. I mean get into a fast start in league, win the rest of your non-conference games. I think Marshall will be fine on the football side. We'll get more of your texts coming up. We do that at 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255, giving you a chance to win 2 tickets to go see the Colecats tomorrow. We're going to make it easy on you. All you have to do is text in to win. Make it interesting. Make it fun. Have a take. You know the deal. More coming up on today's edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Save big on everything for your next staining project when you shop at Menards. Transform your home in one weekend with exterior stain and sealer from Dutch Boy. It provides one-coat protection on decks, fences, siding, and outdoor furniture, and repels rain after just 4 hours of application. That means quicker results, saving you both time and money. Check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for more great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
Looking for a secure savings account? Come to Desco Federal Credit Union and explore our latest offers. With great rates and top-of-the-line personnel, Desco insures your money for at least $1 million. Relax and put your money where you know it's safe and growing. Desco Federal Credit Union is located at 1211 Carter Avenue and other locations in Ohio and West Virginia. Stop in or go online. An account at Desco is just what you need. DescoFCU.org.
The soundtrack to your summer is back. Mountain West 9th Street Live, downtown Huntington's favorite Friday night tradition. Presented by Michelob Ultra and White Claw. This Friday, June 13th, it's massing and special guest Sockdolager on the Marshall OBGYN stage. The Little Caesars Kids Zone is back, and Gilmart Happy Hour starts at 5. Enjoy food and drinks from the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe, Sip Downtown Brasserie, and Summit Beer Station. Next Friday, June 20th, the local Hunnies make their 9th Street Live debut. January 27th, it's Brad Goodall and Of the Dell. The Thundering Herd Rally is Friday, August 15th. 9th Street Live, driven by University Ford and built by Cardinal Roofing. Every Friday night through Labor Day, 9th Street Live between 3rd and 4th Avenues in Huntington. Sponsored by Delta Motels, Wendy's, Mountain Mindful, the City of Huntington, Marshall University, Blinko Glass Company, Marshall Health Arena, and Kindred Communications. This Friday, it's the massing at Mount West 9th Street Live. Be there.
My perfect day has sand, salt water, and friends. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, most people saw 90% clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
If you're looking for the best spot to enjoy a drink this spring in Barboursville, or maybe the entire region, it's Kerber Beer Company on Brady Street next to 1861 Public House. Their Brady Street Beer Garden is the perfect place to sip a craft beer, cocktail, or glass of wine outside in the sun. Plus, there's great food, live music, and good vibes. Can't make it to the tap room? Kerber Beer is on tap at more than 25 locations. And if your favorite spot doesn't have it, just ask for it. Kerber Beer Company, from our village to your glass. KerberBeer.com.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover guitar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Follow at Paul Swann on X for Marshall sports updates and more.
Our text line this hour brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop at 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Raise your hand if you are continuing to follow the Cincinnati Bengals despite being a Bengals fan. It's frustrating. Bengals are expected to release veteran linebacker Jermaine Pratt, according to the NFL Network's sources. The move's going to save the Bengals about $5.6 million on the salary cap. And then defensive lineman Trey Hendrickson not at opening day of the minicamp. He seeks a new contract. He is expected to be fined for his absence. That was communicated to him. Zach Taylor warned him about it last month. Hey, if you're not here, you're going to be fined. Joe Burrow was asked if his absence was a distraction. He actually agreed with it. He said, quote, last year we had two working through contract issues, talking about Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. This year we have one. We do have less. Love to have none, but that's life in the NFL. We are all supporting Trey and would love for him to be back. He also said the young guys get more reps in training camp, and that's big for them. Nobody is worried about Trey working hard and doing what he needs to do to be ready if we happen to have him this year. Burrow did acknowledge that it's a possibility the Bengals might not have him this year. He said that wouldn't make the Bengals a better team, but he doesn't know what's going to happen. I mean, he's only an all-pro selection. He only led the league with 17.5 sacks. He's looking for a long-term contract, and he wants a lot of that be guaranteed money. And he said the Bengals were offering him a short-term deal. Shamar Stewart also hasn't signed his rookie deal yet. I mean, he's been in attendance for workouts and practices, but he hasn't done a single drill. He's not going to practice until he signs. He said, I'm 100% right. This is Stewart. I'm not asking for nothing y'all have never done before, but in y'all case, y'all just want to win arguments, them winning more games. Seriously. What is the problem in Cincinnati in getting these things done? Pay your people. Get the deals done. Pay your people. Your people are the product. Pay your people. Put the best product you can out there. Pay your people. Pay them what they deserve. Pay them what they've earned. Pay them what they're entitled to. Pay your people. Get those deals done. And then you can have less of these off-season distractions. You can focus more on disappointing me during the fall. Focus on that. Focus on paying your people, and then try to focus on not actually disappointing me this fall. Can you do that if you're a fan? I mean, it's got to be what? How many years are we doing this now? Since the inception of the team? Come on. These are things that other teams get these things done. You have a once-in-a-generation quarterback in Joe Burrow. You have couple of the most dynamic wide receivers you could possibly ask for. How do you get it done so you can compete for AFC championships and go to the Super Bowl? The Kansas City Chiefs seem to get it done. Why can't you be like more other NFL teams? Is probably my take there. I will say this, though. The Bengals are fumbling this. ESPN's reporting that at least, 4 teams are looking at Trey Hendrickson. You got the Colts, the Lions, the Commanders, and the Bills. They might be offering money, offering the Bengals a deal for his services. I mean, do you treat this guy like an asset? I say, who's better than him right now? Who can you get that will fill that void? Who can you bring on the team that's going to make that level of impact? Who's going to be better right now? And at the same time, you got to understand, the Bengals are not looking to get locked into a long-term contract with someone they might see on the downside, and it might irritate fans a little bit, but I really think that the Cincinnati Bengals franchise is one that every single dollar counts. Every single dollar. It might be detrimental sometimes the way that the Bengals count pennies. You ever worked in a company where you're penny wise and pound foolish? You ever work at a company that maybe every single penny counts? That the margins are thin? I mean, you're an NFL football team here, but what are the margins here to be able to run the Cincinnati Bengals football team and be competitive and win games? What do you have to do? I mean, do you need to jack up ticket prices even further? Do you need to sell more merch? What do you got to do here? Absolutely, it needs to be a situation here where the team is taking care of its important assets here. We're not talking about a 7th rounder here. We're talking about your first rounder. You're talking about, an all-pro here. These are guys that you got to try to take care of and put together the best foot forward to be genuinely trying to get this deal done. I'm sure it goes both ways, though. Let's be honest here. Everybody is, looking for the best deal possible. The team's looking for the best deal possible. The players are looking for the best team possible. But, if you have a defensive lineman that probably is your best player on defense and you're not going to be able to fill that void real quick, I would do everything in my power to take care of him. But again, the Bengals are making moves. We'll hopefully see what happens. We've got the games for you, by the way. Just a reminder, you can listen to the Bengals all season long right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. And the way that these TV packages are going, you might want to make sure that we're programmed in on your radio dial. You might want to make sure, because it's going everywhere. We had someone text in yesterday asking about NASCAR going to Prime. I was reading up a little bit more, not necessarily directly about that, but it came across today. I was looking a little bit more at what some of these properties are going to be doing. TNT Sports might be in a good or bad position. They might have some things there that, because things are going to be spun off, and all of a sudden you might see some collaboration, some partnerships here with, say, ESPN. So you might have a good spot there when it comes to getting these deals done. But also we're sitting in a situation here where everybody's trying to come up with a streaming package. Everyone's trying to get a over-the-top package. And Warner Brothers Discovery is splitting some of its properties, is splitting into 2 companies. And TNT Sports is going to be in one of those companies. And there are a lot of things that they're looking to do. Here's what they've got. Warner Brothers Discovery is splitting it off. It's got a temporary name. It's called Global Networks, what I was reading. And you gotta figure out what you're going to do, because it doesn't have direct access to broadcast networks or streaming service right now. You have NBC with its company that it's spinning off into Versant, which has NBC's portfolio, and there seems to be a better, I hate this word, but I'm going to use it, synergy going on there. You have Warner Brothers Discovery, the Global Networks umbrella now. That's going to have the NCAA men's basketball tournament. That's going to have baseball. Basketball's through 2032. MLB is through 2028. NHL's through 2028. College football playoff, that's through 2028 because they're working a deal with ESPN. NASCAR through 2031, and then the French Open, for those of you that follow tennis, through 2034. Now, if you access some of these things through, say, a pay bundle, you'll be all right. They'll be streaming on Max right now, but that's temporary. I'm curious to see how this comes about here is because you're not going to necessarily have a streaming partner platform right away. And I'm curious, will ESPN swoop in? I'm interested in that. So these are some interesting items that are coming across as far as what's going to happen in some of these sports. Our text line this hour, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We're giving you a chance to win tickets to go see the Coldcats. I've got a pair for tomorrow's game. All you have to do is text to win, and we'll send the tickets directly to you. More coming up on today's edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Other than $1 million, what does Dad want this Father's Day? A car wash from Thoroughbred Express that'll make him feel like $1 million. And now through Father's Day, you can purchase a $50 gift card from Thoroughbred Express for just $35. That's right, a $50 gift card for just $35. Much less than $1 million, and he'll love it, and his car will too. Join the winner's circle at Thoroughbred Express and get started at thoroughbredexpress.com.
I'm talking with Chris from Christopher's Eats, and Chris, the new menu looks tasty.
Hey, thanks a lot. So we're now featuring some fully composed bowls, some new coal-fired flatbreads, and much more.
My wife loves the falafel bowl, and I cannot get enough of the pork belly flatbread.
Yeah, we're proud of that one. It's all fresh, full of flavor, and we love to try to support our area farmers as much as possible with some local produce and West Virginia beef.
So if it's been a minute since you've been in, now's the time to get to Christopher's Eats, Route 60 Huntington, or order online at christopherseats.com.
This is Mayor Patrick Farrell. Summer in Huntington has always had a special energy, but this year feels different. Families are out walking, neighbors are reconnecting, and more folks are spending time downtown. We're a city focused on what matters. Dog Dazzle is your chance to soak it in. Enjoy fireworks, food, music, and a night by the river that brings us together. Join us July 3rd at Harris Riverfront Park. We'd love to see you there.
Spring is finally here, and that means it's road trip season. Before you hit the highway or cruise through the countryside, make sure your car is ready for the journey. Stop by General Tire of Middleport, your trusted pit stop for fresh tires, dependable batteries, and wiper blades. Located at 465 North 2nd Avenue, they've got everything you need to keep your ride smooth, safe, and spring ready. General Tire, where spring adventures start.
Hey, Cecilia, summer's finally here, and Clark's Pump and Shop has some great specials.
They've got assorted Hershey XL candy bars, buy one, get one for $1, and Mike and Ike, and a hot tamale theater box size candy, buy one, get one free.
And C4 Performance 16-ounce energy drinks, buy two, get one free.
That'll give you plenty of energy to get all your yard work done. I'd like these impatiens planted in the front yard, please.
Those impatiens will have to wait for my nap.
Get the rest of this month's specials on the Clark's Pump and Shop app from your app store.
You can return, refresh, and refuel where?
At Clark's Pump and Shop.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay, forest animals, today is a new day. Kids are coming to the forest, and it's up to us to make their visit a good one. Sparrow.
Yes?
Have you practiced the most popular bird songs for the year?
Of course.
Catchy. I like it. Okay, River.
Dude.
How's the temperature?
It's a refreshing 52 degrees, man. Perfect for a little riverside shoeless relaxation.
Ah, good. Owl, you here? Course. Who's asking? I am. Look, you know the drill. Sleep during the day, scare the kids at night. Perfect. I love my job. Oak Tree?
What's up?
Still in the same place I left you last year. That's what I like. Consistency.
Well, it's not like I'm going anywhere for the next couple hundred years.
I know. I love it. Turtle. Turtle.
He's not here yet, man.
He's late every morning. You'd think he would have learned by now to leave the night before our meetings. Okay. Squirrel. Has anybody seen Mr. Squirrel?
The Forest has been preparing just for you. Visit a forest near you today. To learn more about cool things to do in the forest, visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
When I grow up, I want to be a baseball player. I would be the pitcher because they get to do something all the time.
If your child is sick over and over again, it could be PI, a defect in the immune system that affects millions. Early detection can give children a chance to dream. Jeffrey Modell Foundation, 25 years of helping children reach for their dreams. Visit us at info4pi.org or call 1-866-INFO4PI.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Miss an episode? Catch it anytime on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Final segment for today's edition of The Drive, and this is your final chance to text to win our tickets for tomorrow's Colecats game. The Pulaski River Turtles getting the better of the Colecats yesterday, 10-5. Hopefully the Colecats can get a little revenge. That's coming up tonight. And we've got the game. That comes up 6:45 right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. But if you'd like to go to tomorrow's game, and who wouldn't want to go, all you have to do is text to win. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255 for our pair of tickets for tomorrow's game. Our text line, while it's open, it's been an interesting day here. Tomorrow we're going to find out, hopefully, a little bit more. I'm sure of it. We're going to hopefully find more about a possible name hiring for athletic director of Marshall University. I'm just kind of feeling that we're going to get that info sooner than later. We do know that the Board of Governors has a new member now, West Virginia Governor Patrick Morrisey, appointing Rusty Webb to the Board of Governors. If you don't know Rusty, he is a 1983 graduate of Marshall University. He's a former member of the men's swim team. He has served the state of West Virginia for over 33 years as both an attorney and a legislator, elected to the West Virginia House of Delegates. He founded a legal practice in 2006, so he definitely will add a little flavor to the Board of Governors. He's got that background, that legal background. At the same time, he comes from an athletic background, so he's going to have some interesting perspectives there. So congratulations to Rusty being named to the Marshall Board of Governors. From our text line we go. Texter says, well, I was really hoping that the Bengals would sign Trey, but I guess the cheapness of the Bengals is showing its ugly face again. Bengals need new ownership badly, but this probably won't happen until they pass away. So sad, because Bengals will never win a Super Bowl this way. Thanks, Paul, for your show. I would not be able to use the Colecats tickets this week, but hopefully later. Let me know anytime. I got a guy. I think I can hook you up. So Texter says also, can't win without good defense. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Defense wins championships. Yeah, that was a concept that you're introduced early to. Offense sells tickets. Defense wins championships. Unless you're playing a league with no defense, and then you better go out and score. I mean, the Bengals understood this. I thought the Bengals would go out and try to outscore teams. The problem is the Bengals can score all day. The other team's just having an easier time scoring on your defense. That was the problem. The Bengals offense can go with anybody. And if the Bengals defense is creating and causing turnovers and holding, that's more opportunities for the Bengals offense. It's simple. It makes sense. Does it not? I like that, though. The cheapness of the Bengals. If you're going to have a team, at least make it look like you're trying to put together a good team. Make it look like you're trying. Is it an asset, or do you have a real desire to win? I mean, what's the difference here? If you win, don't you make money? Again, I am not a NFL owner. I am not a billionaire. I will not ever be a billionaire. The rate this life is going, maybe the next life I'll buy the Bengals. But still, the whole idea here is pay the players you have that you want to keep. You draft players, pay them because you drafted them. They're due a certain amount. Don't try to cheap this thing out. You can't cheap these things out. Now, I'm not saying spend stupid money. I'm not advocating that, but you can't cheat this stuff out either. If you're going to be committed, be committed. If you're going to own a National Football League franchise, You're going to own a team in the NFL. You got to be committed. You got to go out and you got to do the work. You got to do the work because you're putting a product out there. What does an empty stadium do for you? Nothing. If the customers aren't happy, what does that benefit you? If they're not showing up, if they're not in the stadium, they're not spending money on your overpriced beverages and your overpriced concessions and food. They're not buying your merch. They're not spending money because they're not happy. And so if you're putting out a good product, people want to come see your good product, and you're contending, you're putting the effort forward, you're contending, you can make money. You should be making money. If you're not making money, you're doing it wrong. You absolutely have to sign your best players. You draft them, work the deal out. If you've got players that you're trying to lock up, work out the deals, quit dawdling. You could have saved yourself some headaches and some trouble and some stress. Quit having these off-season distractions. Your defense is porous. Here's a guy that makes your defense better. He's probably one of the best. Are you going to play a numbers game with him here? What are you going to do? You're trying to secure him? I mean, is he going to drop off that drastically? And who do you get to replace him? Who's going to be better? Or are you going to start from scratch here? You're just going to blow it up. You can't blow it up. You got a once-in-a-lifetime quarterback. You've got two of the best wide receivers going right now in the league. You can't blow it up. You can't. You should be getting set for a prime run right now. You should be putting it together. Instead, we're talking about one of your best defensive linemen, not at opening day because trying to get a deal done and you can't. Absolutely ridiculous. That's the one thing. See, I like pro better, but the one thing that I could always fall back on in college was, these guys are playing for the love of the game. They're playing because this is going to be an opportunity for them. Some of them won't play ever again after college. They're getting an education. It was a different dynamic. Now it's almost the same model here. That's going to do it with this edition of the show. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be back with you tomorrow here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Until then, have a great night.
Broadcasting from the Dave & Buster's studios. Eat, drink, play, and watch at Dave & Buster's in the Huntington Mall. ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. WRBC, W231BS Huntington.